SAGE 888-971-7243. I am Larry Elder. We are ReliefFactor.com studio. We're going to get into illegal immigration and Kamala Harris's visit to the border, the exchange that the mayor of Chicago, Lori Lightfoot, got with a Newsmax reporter who dared to ask her whether or not crime was getting out of control in her city, as crime was getting out of control in her city. Before we get into that, we were talking last hour about two very different ways of viewing the world. The victocrat way versus the non-victocrat way. The I'm oppressed way versus the non-I'm oppressed way. I've told you many times that Time and CNN in 1997, so what's that, 24 years ago, asked black and white teens about racism. They asked whether racism was a major problem in America, and both of them said yes. But then the black teens were asked if racism is a big problem, a small problem, or no problem at all in their own lives. 89% called it a small problem or no problem at all for themselves. In fact, more black teens than white teens said failure to take advantage of available opportunities is a bigger problem than racism. Twice as many black teens said that compared to white teens. There was a professor, I don't know if he's still around, named Martin Seligman. Taught at Penn, where Joe Biden's granddaughter attends. He developed a theory of what he called learned helplessness. When a person learns to believe and behave as a helpless person, they have no control over their own lives. Surprise, surprise, there are negative consequences. So he devoted most of his studies to what he called positive psychology, the effect of happiness and optimism in people's lives. Had a formula, came up with one, and so an insurance company contacted him because they kept hiring people who weren't working out. They would give them a kind of an IQ test, and they would wash out. And so he developed a test so that they could determine people that were optimistic, that when they were said no, they didn't feel insulted or offended, and they figured that they could turn a no into a yes. It was called emotional quotient. So he developed a test to determine that, and they kept giving the old test, and they gave a new test, and even though some on the new test would not have been hired just on the old test, they hired them anyway. And you know where I'm going with this. It wasn't long before it was clear the ones that were hopeful and optimistic did better than the ones that were higher on the IQ test but lower on the EQ, emotional quotient test. You remember George Foreman? Former heavyweight champion. He laid off for 10 years and came back, I think, at the age of like 39 and ended up becoming heavyweight champion again. Kind of reinvented his whole personality from an ornery, somber, angry man to somebody who was fun and likable. And all of a sudden, the money started pouring in, all of these endorsements. He was a high school dropout, raised in Texas. And he wrote about the value of optimism. This is George Foreman I'm quoting, okay? This life, this country is about hope. My first two jobs were about selling. 4 hours of putting out sale papers on doors, cars, and handouts. Then a fruit stand. Texas watermelon season was the best. Competition was great. We had to, as boys, have a variety of melons and a lot of charm. The ability to sell is about the best asset one can pass on to a generation to come. And the most critical and influential product anyone can deal or trade is hope. No matter who we lose, every young doctor is optimistic we will win this one. And many a time we do. Not a whole lot is new, just the same old hope. When things go wrong in our life, our sole obligation to our children is to sell them on hope. Sure, beating our head against the wall is an option, but time and life must proceed. Anger and disappointment bring more dark clouds. Oh, but hope is the sunshine that every child needs for play. Teach them hope and believe there is hope. It is our duty. End of quote. That was George Foreman. Contrast that with this scene from this movie called Menace to Society, where a high school teacher, black high school teacher, is talking to two black high school kids.
Being a black man in America isn't easy. The hunt is on, and you're the prey. All I'm saying is, survive.
Would you rather have that guy be your dad or maybe George Foreman? Which one would you take? There is a documentary on Kobe Bryant. He talks about work ethic, drive, energy.
It's about embodying the spirit that exists in those jerseys up there and carrying this organization forward so that the next 20 years are better than the past 20 years. And that's what it's about. And then it's also about the fans. The media. I don't think you guys understand how present you guys were with me. You know, you guys were there with me at 5:30 in the morning when I was running the track and I was midway through my workout, and I didn't know if I could make it through. And I thought about the expectations you guys had for me and you had for our team, and it pushed me through. It got me through those 800s and 400s and 100s at 5:30 in the morning. So I thank you. And it's about family. It's about my wife, Vanessa. You know, you guys don't know this, but my last game that we had here against the Utah Jazz, I was really tired. I got home and I was like, you know what? I don't know if I can do this thing. I got one more game left, but I don't have any legs. And she said, I want to show you something. I got a gift for you for your last game. And she proceeded to show me a row of retired jerseys from Baylor, from Magic, from Shaq, from Cap, all with personal messages signed to me, including from Michael Jordan, including from the great Bill Russell, including from the great Larry Bird. And when I saw that, I knew then that I had to turn it up. I had to turn it up. So thank you, baby, for being an inspiration to me. And lastly, our daughters, Natalia, Gianna, and Bianca. You know, I hope that tonight is not, you know, you guys know that, you know, if you do the work, you work hard enough, dreams come true. You know that, we all know that. But hopefully what you get from tonight is the understanding that those times when you get up early and you work hard, those times when you stay up late and you work hard, those times when you don't feel like working, you're too tired, you don't want to push yourself, but you do it anyway. That is actually the dream. That's the dream. It's not the destination, it's the journey. And if you guys can understand that, then what you'll see happen is that you won't accomplish your dreams. Your dreams won't come true. Something greater will. And if you guys can understand that, then I'm doing my job as a father. Thank you guys so much. I love you. And, Mamba out.
How did he develop such wisdom? You know, when he first came to L.A., he was 18, 19 years old. And I was invited by an executive from the Lakers to see a game. And when the game was over, he said, you want to go in the locker room, meet some of the guys? So I go down, and there's Kobe Bryant standing there, all natural. And we talk a little bit. He referred to me as Mr. Elder. And so I guess Vanessa and I have something in common. We've both seen old number 8 and number 24 on natural. Where did he get such wisdom? Kind of a contrast between that and this, isn't it?
Being a black man in America isn't easy. The hunt is on, and you're the prey. All I'm saying is, survive.
Well, that's optimistic. I'm Larry Elder.